I'm going to start the lesson off assuming everyone knows the rules of Go, how to capture, how liberties work, and how a connected group of stones work, and how 2 eyes work. Now with that out of the way, let's dive right into the 9x9 mastery lesson. In a game of 9x9, there are about 5 or 6 different common moves for the first move. A move I suggest all the double-digit cube players to use is using a 3-3. This is the safest way to build territory, and especially when you're starting off, this is a great way to build territory and expand from the corner. This develops your Go foundations and develop your fundamental skills. With this move, Black has a very solid corner on the top right side, and let's say White also does the same. Black now has 2 very nice corners, and with 1 more stone towards the center, Black has built a nice territory on the side of the board. Now, if White follows through, Black can then keep developing on this empty side and this empty side. So this is generally an idea of how a territory or corners work on a 9x9 Go game. A few other common starting moves is a 3-4 point. This 3-4 point, there are 8 3-4 points. All of these 3-4 points are identical on the first move. So we call them 3-4 point, it is because it is 3 lines across and 4 rows up or 4 rows down. That's why we call it the 3-4 point. Another common way to start off the game is playing a 4-4. There are 4 of these points on the board, 1, and then these 3 are all the possible 4-4 points. 3 more common starting moves is the center, the tengen, and the center there is many fun things you can do when you start off with the center. You might have heard that in Go, corners, then sides, then the center, but on a 9x9 Go game, this rule doesn't apply here. The board is very small. If you take the center straight away, you basically have access to all 4 different corners. You can also play a 5-4 point, which is also very common and quite popular in a 9x9 Go game. And finally, you can play a 5-3 point. This is also a very common and quite a popular move as well. After you've chosen your first move, make sure to occupy 1 more corner. You want to have 2 corners occupied. So the next move can be the same thing, one of those moves. For example, a 3-4 point, a 4-4 point, a 3-3 point, 3-5 point. All of these are possible. Or you can take a 3-4 point over here, or use a knight's move distance to take a 4-4 point. All of these moves are possible. Even a tengen taking the center is also okay as well. So when you start off the game, even if you play a 4-4 point, make sure to take another corner as well. You want to make sure that you are building as much territory as possible in your first few moves. Because these first few moves are very important, and they will decide whether or not you will have a good territorial advantage or if you don't have a good territorial advantage. If you're playing an even game, komi is very important. The board has only 81 points, and both players are going to play approximately 20 moves each, so the board is left with about 40 points, sometimes 50 points on the board. Both players share these remaining points. And with Black going first, Black always gives White 6.5 points komi. So if you're taking the Black pieces, you have to make sure in your first 5 to 10 moves, you're doing the best you can at securing a bigger area of the board. You want to make sure you have a bigger framework than White, because you have to give White 6.5 points komi. That is the basic strategy for a 9x9 Go game if you're playing the Black pieces. If Black chooses to start off with a 5-5 or the center point, and this, depending on what White plays, the 3-5 or a 3-3 or a 3-4, it is a good idea Black plays elsewhere and Black takes another point on the board. So right now, Black has a very nice influence toward the top side. White might need to follow up, and Black can defend his own influence, such as using a blocking move. If white extend, black can block one more time and defend this part of the territory. If white goes over here using a diagonal move, black can defend of this territory on the top side. And if this move is threatening to enter black's territory, black should defend. And this one is white's tempo. White wins in tempo by playing this sequence because black has to defend this weakness. White might finish off the endgame by playing this move, trying to enter black's territory. Black block, white connect. Black can push, threaten this weakness, because if white doesn't play, black is going to capture these 3 white stones. So white defends the weakness, black takes this point, and white takes this final point. This game is a very close game on the board. Both players actually have very similar amount of territory. Exchanging this move for this move is a good idea. Black can save some territory. But after commit, white is going to win the game by 4.5 points. Why did white win so much? The reason is, in the first 3 to 5 moves, black didn't gain a big enough territory. This area is smaller than this area. Because if black plays this area, black can actually enter white's territory on the next turn. So if we play out this game, white defends, black goes down, white defends, black blocks over here. You can see that after this game, this is white's tempo because black has a weakness. White might go down, threatening to enter black's territory. Black blocks. This one's a weakness, black blocks, and white connects. You see, but in this game, the result is black is going to win the game by 2.5 points. So taking a bigger area of the board first is extremely important in a 9x9 Go game. And you can see that it all it takes is one trial and error with playing one move and playing another move. And that is going to be the very big difference with the results in a 9x9 Go game. In the next lesson, we will talk about simple opening ideas for each of these starting points. See you guys in the next lesson. Bye bye.